So it's Miss Havisham. I'm back at Bakewell Church and I'm in the Vernon Chapel. Last time when I was here at Christmas, I found that my camera switched off, and also I did notice that when I was around this area there was the sound of water, and there is water underneath here, although it's not next to a river, but it is around this spot. So I wanted to see whether it picks up the sound of water again, because this is the spot where I noticed the water, and it was as if it was a gushing sound, and then it would stop, and then it would gush again and then stop. And there's definitely water under here. Now this is, again, these are very strange people. What on earth is holding? Holding some kind of beads. So I will be interested to see what sound I pick up. This chapel was actually demolished in the early 1800s. It was demolished and rebuilt, and these tombs were actually opened up, and they did find the remains, and within the remains they found several artifacts, including a pair of spectacles and a brass hair ornament, two brass hair ornaments. And this work was undertaken by Thomas Bateman, the archaeologist. He went around the area excavating and opening up tombs and long barrows and all things like that. I'm not sure where he came from to suddenly decide that that was his vocation in life, that he was going to take apart these tombs and look for things. I'm not sure what he was looking for, but I think he knew he was looking for something. So this is Sir George Vernon with his two wives. They were both dames, and I think that he had both of these wives at the same time. I think it's probably a misconception to think that one died, then he married the second one. I think he had two wives at the same time. So I'm just fascinated by these figures, and you can see at the bottom there, looks like a little dog. The detail's amazing. Dame Margaret Talboys is one of them, and Dame Elizabeth, I can't remember what her other name was, Pierpoint, I think, from the Pierpoint family. But look, the page boy hairstyle and the long beard, and he was the richest man in these parts. In fact, if not one of the richest men in the country. And he was known as the King of the Peak. And he would go out hunting. And of course there was all the wild animals in this area at the time, including bears, wild boar, wolves, and other animals, including some animals that are now extinct but were in this area at the time, which I believe were mammoths and bison were in this area at that time. That might sound strange, but I do believe that's the case. Down below, we have these other figures. It's a bit dark. You'll see them. That's one. There comes my roadie with the torch. Wow, look at that. I like to look at all the detail. Shield with a coat of arms. Some of these characters have got very strange eyes. Very strange eyes. And that is the lion rampant and that shield. This is the other side of this marble altar here. The shield seems to have been erased, whatever it said on there. That one's been badly damaged, that character there. That's what I would call them, characters. That's certainly what they are. The faces have been removed. I mean, something like this should have been treasured and taken so much care of, and they haven't. And the parts that have been removed are the faces. Well, look, that's an angel. And as I've said before, I think these are evil beings that come from under the earth, not from up in the sky somewhere. And that's why the faces have been removed, so we can't really see what they really look like. Very strange. We'll see if it picks up the sound of water. So this is the tomb of the Sir John Manners and Dorothy Vernon. He was one of the daughters of Sir George Vernon, who is the one in the middle tomb there with the beard. He had two daughters, and Dorothy Vernon eloped with Sir John Manners, and they thought that he wasn't suitable. He wasn't wealthy enough, basically. This is what they thought, he wasn't wealthy enough. There has been a film made about Lady Dorothy in the 1920s with Mary Pickford playing the part of Dorothy, and it's a silent film, so you can see that on YouTube. But it's all covered in cobwebs. See at the top? It's quite high. These, I thought at first were wolves, but now I think they're actually wild boar because they've got fangs. They've actually got fangs, if you can see the fangs. So I think these are wild boar. And they must have been prized because they've actually put one on each end of this mausoleum, and they're wearing collars. That's amazing. The wild boar are wearing collars. Look at that. And standing on the top of an obelisk. But this area was all forest in the time when these people lived. 1600s. It was all forest full of wild animals, and it was teeming with wolves. And I think this is another reason why this guy is wearing this, what looks like leather protective clothing. It could be to protect from the wolves when they go out. And that weapon there. So I wonder what kind of weapon that was. I think it was some kind of a stunning device, that it could stun a wild animal that attacked them. That's what it looks like to me. I don't think it's a knife. I don't think that's a knife at all. And it's obviously, this depiction is of a leather outfit. It was all leather. And I think it was for protection from the wild animals. There was every kind of wild animal around that you could think of. A colleague of mine wanted to look at this area of the leg and the knee in more detail. Well, that is obviously the long leather trousers, probably attached to the boots all in one. And it's articulated so the knee can bend. Lady Dorothy. She was allegedly one of the most beautiful of beautiful women. Very strange. And I think these people were not the same as what we would recognise today. The way they lived and how they survived in that wild terrain, living in the forest, which it was all forest, and surrounded by wild animals of all descriptions, and the transport. What transport did they use? We don't hear about that. What transport did these people use, and how did they get here, in any case, in the first place? So this is the other end of the Vernon Chapel. And we think this is the angel Gabriel, this cherub head at the top. This is written in Latin, and what it's telling us is that this is George Manners of Haddon and his wife Grace, and it says Gratiam Filiam Secundum Henrici Pierpoint, which means she was the second daughter of Henry Pierpoint. And I'm not sure if I turned it.